Success is achieving your own goals in your own way. Knowing what you want and going for it. Your career path has been incredibly diverse, and in many respects you've continually reinvented yourselves. What was the hardest career move for you to make?
I think the hardest one that felt the riskiest was going to Google. So it was 2001, and the tech bubble had burst, and Google was a consumer internet company with 200 people. And while no one admits this now, lots of people I really respected and looked up to as mentors, said to me, you can't go to Google, that's a tech company, go be an investment banker. But I really wanted to work in the tech sector, and I really wanted to work at an operating company. I think that going to things you really believe in, whether they seem obvious or not, is the most important thing. And so for me, it was a risk worth taking. And it doesn't look risky now, it looks obvious, but at the time it looked pretty different.
What would you say has been the greatest challenge for you in managing both a really demanding career but also a family? And how did you navigate through that throughout your career?
Like everyone else, I think you feel like you try to do everything and you just do everything badly all the time. I think things go in fits and spurts. When I first was at Facebook, I was definitely feeling way unbalanced and more worried about not seeing my kids. And then I kind of got my feet wet, got the teams in place, and learned, what we were doing. And now it feels more in balance. And then, at different points, there's a sprint to, we have a big developer conference. There's that sprint, so you're working really hard for that. And I think getting through those ebbs and flows and knowing that there's something around the corner is really helpful. The other thing, and it sounds really obvious, is you just have to say no. I had this woman who I didn't know call me, and she called out of the blue, and she kind of said, can you have coffee with me once a month to support my career? And I would love to have coffee with her once a month to support her career, but I can't do that for everyone, and so you have to do it more occasionally. Even the things you'd really love to do, you can't do as much as you'd want.
You've had a career that's also involved deep political connections, having worked at the World Bank and serving as Larry Summers' chief of staff during the Clinton administration. How has your time in Washington helped create a stronger leadership role for you? And do you think companies do a good enough job today building relationships in Washington and also understanding the intersection of policy and business?
For me, the time in Washington was really important because those were really my formative years in the workforce. Working at the Treasury, it was a really interesting time. It was during the Asian financial crisis, and so there was just a lot going on, and you learned really quickly how to try to figure out what's important and what's not. I think that training was really important. There are certain policies the government sets that have to apply to everyone. And when you're running companies, particularly companies like Facebook or helping to work at places like Google, you set policies that affect millions and tens of millions of people. So thinking about things pretty systematically is a good thing. In terms of companies' outreach to DC and different governments, I think some companies have done it better, some companies have done it worse. Silicon Valley has historically done it late, but I think that's really changing. I think you see a lot of people now who are in the tech community who are deeply engaged with the world around them, not just in the Silicon Valley area. And I think that's a change for the better.